Today we have Pratima Seetu, who runs Bright Inspires, joining us and sharing her journey of building her own home, and now she has a beautifully established firm working with projects across. A brief about Pratima is she was born in Chikmagalur and then went on to do her architecture and then joined Jaisim. Before that, I think she was working with Chitra Vishwanath for some time. So we will start having a look at your work. So she's built a lovely home come office at Raja Rajeshwar Nagar in Bangalore. So she would be showcasing her work there about that building and sharing her journey.
Okay, sure. The inspiration when it came to building home, this is our house in my village, Situr, is a village in the valley of Western Ghats. It is in the wild. Built the whole home with all natural materials, and there is no waste that gets created. There is always recycling of waste, and it is a totally sustainable living. It is so beautiful, so functional, and there is this traditional wisdom that we need to cap on to. These are the elements that you see. This is a 100-year-old home, and this structure that is in front of every home in that village has had a huge impact in my mind. And this beautiful play of light and shade in there. These are the platforms they use to dry areca. They grow areca in that region, and there are those uncut granite pillars that support the system. The home also had to have an a small office for my practice. And here, when we looked at the plot, it was a flat land with a little hint of boulders. And when one had to do the basement construction, when we dug up deep inside, we saw this treasure of boulders there. And at the on-site, there was this thought process as to what one would do with these boulders, what is happening around these boulders. And we had a small tiff also when it came to these boulders being in there, but they are there because they existed before us. So they are part of our living now. This is the little things. This is just a slide from the site. There were many experiments on the go. There were many learnings, though with the association of Jaisim sir, there were few initial discussions which where the initial schemes rolled out with discussions from his side, with ideas from his side, and then we went on. One tried to be more, experimentative on site, and there were many experiments, many learnings, and this is how the house turned out finally. On the street facade is this. There are a lot of criticism on this facade, that it is too close to the road, and the entire house is shut to the road. But then the context, the road that's in front of us was not a very inviting attraction for us to open out the house to the outside. And it was the south side with a lot of open space in front of the home, and we had to shut out the hot sun from there. So that's how we have those blank walls that you see on the facade. So how one would wonder how is the light to this house when everything looks so closed. And as we built the house, we nurtured the trees. We planted the trees and we nurtured the trees. Architects today have a big responsibility of not only building shelters, but to ensure that the air is clean and the water, and we have a responsibility to keep our water, from water bodies or wherever, clean. So that has kind of become the need of the hour, and architecture is a responsive and responsible art. So we thought it was our responsibility to plant a few trees in front of the house. It's a little thing that we did for taking away the footprint of where we built. And this is how happy the trees are, and we are very happy too, being behind these trees, and we feel very blessed to have them on the foreground. And if everyone thinks this, each house can have their own little greenery, and that amounts to the air that they breathe. My message for the young architects here in this forum: please make these trees part of your facade drawings, and don't make your buildings too good that the client cuts away these trees. There's a lot of these group of trees have created homes for many birds, squirrels, and they have kept us entertained all this COVID season. And yeah, there is shade, there is water at the in a pot, and these cows are on the street, and it's sheer entertainment for us to see them. The house has two entrances, the office and the home. The small gate you see is for the office, and the big gate is for the entry into the home. And we've called this home as Prakrti. We have this natural green canopy at the office entrance. It showers, there's shower of light at the office entrance. So you start seeing that the temperature dips to a comfortable zone as we walk down to the basement. The office is in the basement, and we walk down these steps to the basement entry. And here we see these stone walls, the stone in the ceiling, the stone in the floor. It's kind of fascination for the stones. Being an architect, I'm sure all of us are inspired so much by our temple architecture, and it's our own way of using stones in our structure. And to your left, on the as a contrast, you see those metal pipes which are supporting the structure. The meander continues, and you go around and you come around. A lot of go around and come around happens in this house. So if there is anything like auspicious direction that one needs to face, just taking a tour of this house, you would have turned around many times to those directions. But unfortunately, we are on a virtual tour, and I think you're all facing one direction. The boulders existed earlier before us, and they stay there, and we kind of did prana pratishte to this Gundu boulder. He is with us in the good, and when it's an architect's office, you know that we have those other times. So he is there with us for company. So one wanted to build close to nature, and was not very sure how to achieve it. And this is the first, though I built homes earlier, they were more functional to the client's needs. But here there was scope to experiment. One wanted to experiment and see how we can make it more nature-friendly space. And so the bricks that you see on the ceiling and the leaf imprints kind of takes you on to your mind to a place one can imagine as if you are under a tree and there are those dry leaves at your feet, and there is light filtering in through the leaves to the tree canopy, and there are these boulders which is adding to that uh, external feel. And here is the neat white clean studio where we work. Yes, we work there. It was one of those days when the office went through a thorough cleaning, and so you see it's so clean. uh, it's never that clean, but the beauty of this table also doubles up as a TT table, so the youngsters can relax if they want to play in the evenings. So this is a studio. Yeah, Pradyan. This is the discussion area where we meet the clients for discussion. And on the left hand side is a series of frames of rights the motifs. And yeah. Yes, we do a lot of serious work, and the big table is for the interns to do all the work that they are supposed to do. And this area adjacent to the office, I think the only difference the boulders that we encountered made a difference was to this space. This we had initially designed as a home entertainment area, which my husband had to give away because we found it was very difficult to acoustically separate the office and the home with the boulders coming in there. Otherwise, the plans that we made never changed, because the northeast of the home was left as a space for a rear garden, and so we didn't have to change much of our original plans for finding these boulders on site. Yeah, this is the source of light that you saw in the lower level. These were the details around the skylights. We figured out that there are homes on all the three sides, and there is the south face on the front side. So there's very less chance for us to have big windows, large windows towards the neighbors. So this is a technique Jason sir has been using for many years in his works, and we continue to do it here. And here we have opened it to the fifth direction, that's the sky. So there is ample light at various levels, scattered at various levels, and ensuring that there is ventilation along with light. Yeah, suddenly you see patterns like this, the streaks, as if someone came there, an artist painted on the wall and things like that. These use of light inside a house is, first thing, it comes for free, and secondly, it is dynamic, and every day, every moment, every hour, the mood changes, different seasons, and the mood of the light changes. So you never feel alone being in here, because the light and the patterns from light is always giving you accompany you. And these act as the free space for the house. The free space is almost 40% when we compare the active spaces in the house. So this is a connection that we go up. It's an internal connection between the office and the house, and these combination of stone steps and a few metal steps take you to the level where the home is. Home it is, yeah. This is a kind of an indulgence of sheer abstract spaces. One didn't have any straight lines to follow. The architecture here mesmerizes. It brings in a sense of wonder. Spaces knit stories in volumes, and each overlaps with other volumes to interact. Light filtering through various apertures engages you in a fantasy. There is romance in the air. The spaces are intimate. Architecture is personified. The home is as good as another person that we stay with. Energy flows through oneself. It's a magical experience that architecture evokes. And each day, each moment, you wake up to this newness. There are quiet conversations that you want to make with yourself, and this space gives you that space to converse with oneself. Prakriti, the space we share with nature, being our own natural self. There are no pretense, and there is one's true self here. So I'll take you through. This is where the home is. What you saw earlier was the office, the studio. This is the gate for the home, and you see the beautifully aged wood in the gate. This is again an inspiration from the my village, and why polish wood if it can age and if it can create its own layer of protection. So that gate takes you, and yeah, this is the entrance of the home, the kids space. That's a little transition space between the actual home and the outside door, which is very important when we are living in cities. We do not want to open the door to a stranger, so we have this transparent metal door which opens into a little shoe foyer space with a rough flooring. So you leave out the shoes and the dust from outside, and you do not step in with same things into the house. So this is the transition space between the main house and the outside. That's the tall door of the home. I'm sorry for the various quality of pictures. It's not all taken at the same time. Yes, the light is also trying to enter in. There are a few bells, and there's the tall door inviting one to the space inside. And as you enter, this is what you see from that entrance door. Yes, you are seeing the kitchen of the home. The kitchen is the heart of the home, and we're right there, which kind of looks like a bar counter. That's the kitchen. Yeah, so to your left is a formal living space. This is a big uninterrupted space with no walls, with the quality of light and volume separating the various activities of the home. And to your this is to your right, where you see the Boulder Garden and another informal sitting area near the kitchen, and there's a stair that takes you up to the other level. That's the formal living. And yeah, this is the view from the formal living to the other side of the house, and you can also see how the volumes are getting connected. And this is the Boulder Garden, as you see from the home level. The wall behind that we have built is with rough stones. We used it the way the stones were. We allowed them to project and go back and front, and this kind of became, right now when we keep looking at this wall, it has it's very therapeutic, and one can get to a meditative stage looking at this wall. So we face this wall quite often and sit in our own world, create that space for ourselves, staring at this wall. Many times light, especially now when we didn't have people come in, light is our guest, and what a delight it is to entertain the grace each time, each morning, and you are inside the house, and you know what the weather is outside. This is the kitchen, and yeah, it's a kitchen that would never disappoint you. You will at least get good filter coffee from here, and yeah, if you're lucky, you will get better things also. And yeah, there are things which are served across the counter, and we've had a lot of people on sometimes the host on the other side, and sometimes us on the other side, and the guest on this side, where they are cooking for us also. This was getting the kitchen to the center of the home was at the time when we built the house. I must confess that I was not. This is a space for matured minds, okay, and I didn't think too much about the functioning of the house. My mind was more about getting the architectural aspects coming together, and yes, we decided, okay, we do the kitchen here, right in the center, and the inauguration day, when we did that little puja, my mother-in-law was not happy. We didn't see a smile on her face, because she thought she was wondering why there are park benches in the house, and why there are boulders inside the house, and will people think it's a park and not a home, and why is the kitchen right in the center of the home? But then now I see many of my clients asking for this kitchen, which is the center of the home, because with the women being more busy these days, I think this is kitchen being the bonding for the family. It's become a place to bond for the family more than the dining. The dining earlier days was for the family to be together, and now the kitchen has taken over. And with this kitchen, both my sons pitch in quite some in the cooking, and the husband has joined only right now, and I'm sure he'll also get trained. This is the connection between the lower level and the upper level of the house. Yeah, the lower level has a single room for the guest, and which also doubles up as a TV room for us, because we didn't want the TV noise to be in the center of the house. So the TV stays in the room. And the upper level has two rooms, the master bedroom and the children's room. The stair is the connection between the two floors. It is so casual, and it's just a fly away, and it is very comfortable. This is what I've heard from my mom, that this stair just doesn't feel that it is taking you up and down. So there's no strain when one goes up this stair. So my message to the youngsters, that do not fear doing a odd shaped staircase. Just go with the flow of the spaces. Yeah, we create memories. I just love, and I'm right now missing this young energy in my office, and they are who I look up to every morning. And once I see them is when my mood becomes very cheerful. So I miss all these and the many more. I'm so sorry I was not able to put up pictures of all of you guys. This is just one batch of youngsters, interns and a few junior architects that I could manage to put, mostly because of the picture quality, guys. Yes, that stair being the connection. That light patterns which keeps surprising us, and there are many stairs at those. We take them, we soak that in that sunlight, and yeah, the way the stairs connect, you're moving. This is like the godly frame, that one looks up, one wakes up to. So it is beautiful to just greet the morning looking at this light. There is each surface, there is kind of detailing. So all this was not on the paper. All was not on the paper. It was at stages. We had this energetic engineer who was part of this construction, and every morning, and I think we have spent like so many hours in the 2 years of duration time that we built this house. So many hours have been spent on detailing each of these, and most of them are detailed on site, and gone back to the drawing, sketches, detailing, and taken a reconfirmation that it all works well, and then given a go ahead to build. Yeah, this is like the flame of a fire, and yeah, there is so much. Once you take in the light and the material that you play around with, you can this kind of can take you on a journey of thoughts. It can take you to places. It just makes you feel that you're on the move. There's so many emotion that architecture can evoke, and this is like once playing the piano, and it literally does. As the morning passes by, you see the movement of those lights, and you never realize if you spent 1 or 2 hours watching those lights. And that's the morning space where we are north and east of the house was taken, and this is more towards the evening. So the light patterns change, and the other side of the house starts getting more livelier during the evening times. Yes, we do have places to rest. This was when we built the home. Believe me, we didn't have money to buy the cot, so we were sleeping on the floor, and we were staying in a furniture-less home for almost 1 year, and slowly gotten back to the comfort. This was a light pattern that I saw only in this Corona break, and I had not seen it in all these 7 years of staying in the house, which means the work would take you off, and I mean, you can't take off from work. That's what I meant. And you have no time to sit back many at times, and they are like hard to define. And I think we should wait for the next year for these patterns to come back. And you see the ceiling, it is a seamless terracotta filler slab, and the terrace has a lot of, in spite of the terrace having a lot of space for the planters, we managed to get the whole ceiling seamless, so that we do not have those beam drops which show up as an obvious structure. And that's the overall, for you all to get an idea of what the place is. There are no rooms that kind of close on you. These are spaces that flow and connect. There are very few right angles in this house, and more for the discipline where one wall meets the other kinds, and the rest is the swirls, are the curves, are the sweeping angles, and each one is unique, and it kind of combines the entire thing holistically also. It's not that they are disconnected spaces. They play good being together. So I think we all should think of coming out of the rectangles and squares if we want to look at some magic happening in these spaces. Yeah, we go up to the terrace, and there is an in-between space where it is for the laundry utility. And we go up to the terrace, and it's, believe me, the circular space that we have here, which has the stone benches, is never used unless we have lot many people in the house. But that space, being the free space, it's like having a park for a community. It adds so much of value to our house. So it has no piece of furniture, it has no piece of artifact, but it just stays there. Being there gives us extra air to breathe and extra, when we're not seeing the walls close by, that makes a lot of difference in the way the minds can think. So we have to work against the claustrophobia, and it is important to create our own comfort zones. That's the terrace, and the trees planted, they're already high up there. They're almost 45, 50 feet tall, and I don't know how tall they would grow, and they're beautifully sharing, and there are birds that come. And there's so much of greenery up to an extent that we tried to grow. These are from our garden. And it's so nice to see these vegetables hiding behind. So nice to see how nature has designed them, how they camouflage, and how when there is a pest infestation, how they behave, how they try to protect themselves. This is the kind of little things that we were able to closely see that space. There is absolutely nothing other than the building itself. All that you probably see is a piece of log that is there, which acts as a seater, and there are two light fittings. Other than that, there is that stone walls, there are those stone benches, there is this roof which shelters you. It is important to have a free floor space. This is a place where architecture is a piece of art, where you live, then you accumulate art. Going forward, homes need to be looked at beyond BHK accommodations and beyond the square foot spaces, the carpet floor, or the built up. The thinking has to go beyond walls and windows. It has to go beyond floors and carpets. One should focus on minimalism, and one needs to maximize the experience of living. So this is a small place that we are here for a short term. It's a temporary space that we create comfort for ourselves, and we should see to it that we do not accumulate or hoard too much. That's a message from my side.
Wow. Always magical to see those pictures, walk through that space. I've been lucky enough to have gone into that space a couple of times, and always brings in that thrill factor for me. And awesome, Pratima, awesome for that brilliant walk which you took us through. That amazing house. I saw different levels of philosophy of architectural vocabulary and detailing and the passion to build this beautiful house for yourself. Definitely you will have a lot of visitors in the coming days. Thank you for your time. Thank you everyone for taking time and being here. Thank you Pratima.
So much, Chetan. Thanks to all who are virtually present here. Thanks for this wonderful opportunity. And I thank the beautiful minds and the beautiful hands that put together our house. Thank you all.